Oh boy, right now, inflation has hit 8%, and it has not been this high since 1981. Now, what does that mean for the markets? What does that mean for the cryptoverse? What does that mean for Bitcoin? You need to know. We're going to talk about all that in this video. Make sure you watch to the end, and if you haven't, make sure you subscribe. It's James and Michael, the Crypto Guys. Michael, let's talk about inflation.
All right. Well, like James say, our one thing I want to point out, yes, we are at 7.9 to be precise, almost 8, but we are obviously in an uptrend since October, right, of 2021. We can see that we're getting higher highs, right, every time. So will we continue this? Do you think a 0.25 interest rate is going to slow down the inflation growth? I don't think so. I think we're going to see the next candle being a 9, maybe even a 10, right? Maybe 9 and then 10. So we are not going to changing. We're on our way to 10%, right? That's I think that's fair to say, right? Now, the question is, when was the last time that America had a 10% inflation rate? And well, if you don't know, we could look at the chart, and it wasn't until 1980. Now, I did mention to you last time the NASDAQ bear markets. And when we had the bear market in 1980, it only lasted for 48 days. But the time previous to that, right, when the interest rate was 11% in 1974, there was a bear market from 1973, was 2 years long. So, and then we immediately followed that up by 1980. So yeah, that makes sense. So, but you see the point though, right? Like the first time that it went above during that time in 1973 to 1974 was 2 years. Then the next time that happened, I think the effect of what they did was already starting to lower, because there's always a delayed effect. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's not as simple as analyzing the data since 1983, let's say, because it doesn't correlate with a 10% interest rate. A 10% inflation rate. So I don't think them hiking 25 point basis or 0.25% is going to affect the interest rate that we have. So in the long term, I would say be cautious. Am I bullish? Am I bearish? In the long term, I'm probably more bearish, because I think that there's no way that as they raise the interest rate, that's not going to affect. They're battling inflation. So let's see what's going to happen there. But yeah, I want to start off with what's the long-term trend? Probably a bear market, I would say. In the short term and medium term, I am bullish though. Let me show you what the charts are saying. You know that I followed the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and I said, if the NASDAQ gets above this line, that's bullish. So we are above this line. We're literally getting now, right? If we get rid of the EMA ribbon here, we are getting a higher high. Okay, you can see that we're getting a higher high. So, and we're getting a higher low as well. So that is a trend change. Okay, and that's good. That's very good. But it doesn't mean the overall trend is not going to stop going down. It just means that we may go up a bit until we reach a resistance. Okay, until the next bad news, until the next interest rate hike. I don't know. Nobody knows for sure, right? But we can only tell you that in the medium term, I am bullish. And what I mean by that is that we could be in this cycle, like going up for a while. I don't know how long, but we are definitely bullish in the medium term, okay? So as a result, Bitcoin has been going up, and now we're at 41,000. So, but we are still at a resistance zone. And of course, it all depends on what the NASDAQ does. If NASDAQ continues to go up, I think Bitcoin will break through that, and we'll probably go to 45, 44,000 zone, the resistant number 2. So, and then at that point, I would even reduce and increase my cash position. Okay, that's what I'm doing. And just to play a little bit safe and have more cash to buy, because I am bearish in the long term. So which also fits with this pattern. At the top here is about 43,000. So we've been rejected there many times. So that could be a place of rejection as well. Yeah. So that's where we are now. And we did recommend you buy here if you were willing to take the risk. one target could be at the top here, right? So at top of the pattern. So usually when there's a breakout, you will go all the way up to the top right here. Okay. And then the risk will be very high, meaning the risk that we get rejected will be high. It's possible we break through, but I mean, it's a high risk, right? Like at that stage, there's a 70% chance you go down, right? How low you go, that's what determines the next move. If we make a higher low in the correction and bounce back, oh, that's going to be bullish. However, if we get rejected and go make a lower low, that's going to be bearish. So that's what we're paying attention to, what's going to happen after the resistance. I doubt it. I could be wrong, but I doubt that we're just going to head up and break through the resistance zone, because think about this, right? This is a strong zone of like resistance. Look at this. We've been rejected here, here, here. You know, you could count this one if you want here. Okay. If you go back, we had support here, right? We've had support all through, is very close. Okay. You could count that if you want or not. We've been rejected all the points here. We had support here. You see how strong this line is? You know, we've have like support here, here. Come on, it goes on and on and on. And if you go back to like history, it doesn't stop. You could go back like further and it will show you. So this zone is high risk. That's all I have to say, right? Like I would exit like 90% of my trades at this stage. And if we break above, I'll start trading again. But I'm telling you, for me, this is a high risk zone here. Okay. So that's what I have for you today. But I do have one more thing, because a few days ago, we made a video and that was March 13. So that's about, what is it? 4 days ago? 4 days ago, we said, what altcoin should you buy? 10X right now. We said you should buy Pancake Swap. At the time we made a video recommending it, it was $5.95. And guess what? Cake is pumping today. Well, it's going back down, but I told everybody to sell it. Who's one of our MetaGold guys, I told them to sell at the top here at $7. But if you had bought when we recommended it and sold when you were a member of MetaGold, if you buy $1,000 of MetaGold, then I would have told you to sell. You would have been 23.5% in profit. If you use a 10X leverage with BYBIT, you can see BYBIT in the description. That would be a 232%. Now, I don't use that right now. It's too volatile like market. I actually don't recommend you do. But if you insist on using leverage and you're an expert trader, okay, great. Go to the BYBIT and you can do that. But the point is, we told people to sell and now it's going back down because that was a pretty long candle. It's 20% today, but it was 25% like candle just from there. So just a day, right? So that's pretty amazing. Right now, I'm quite confident though that we may still continue up to that like resistance. So that's what I got for you today. This is not financial advice. Do your own research.
That's right. Do your own research. But I bought cake. I bought cake when we were talking about that video. And so, yes, I've enjoyed an increase for sure. So I want to go back just for a moment about the interest rates and, the bigger picture in the markets. I was watching Mark Cuban, I think yesterday, was talking about how the markets typically overreact to everything that's going on in the world. At the same time, there's just a lot of volatility. And with the war in Ukraine and with Russia, Putin, what levers might he pull that affects oil? And then that's just a cascading effect on so many things. If you go back into the 80s, a lot of the big problems, it was all centered around oil.
Exactly.
So, obviously the world has hopefully matured and evolved and that we won't go back to those things, but you just got to keep these things in mind. Like all of these things, we're in an ecosystem that everything is connected. And so that's why when you're trading, you want to be as knowledgeable as you can. That's what we try to do on this channel here by bringing you up to date and excellent technical analysis that you see Michael breaks down all the time. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Keep checking in here every day. And what Michael said there, if you didn't catch it, when he said, had you listened to me when I told you to sold, that's when you invest $1,000 in MetaGold. So MetaGold is a rewards coin. When you invest $1,000 in MetaGold rewards coin, so not only do you hold the coin, but it unlocks access to Michael's insider crypto circle. And in that circle, he tells people, here's his trades. Here's his buys, here's his sells, tells people where he's selling. And there's people that just follow his trades and they make money because they don't have time to do all this research and analysis. And if you want that, and that's worth a lot, then go to Metagold Rewards. Make sure and this is a great time to buy because with so many of the altcoins down right now, you can get Metagold at such a great price. And if you invest $1,000, you can get access to crypto trading, that inner circle. Yeah. So exactly, that's all we've got for today, unless you want to say something else, Michael.
Well, you know, the big problem back in 1973 and 1974 and in 1980 was all about oil. Actually, that's the problem, right? Like why I'm bearish is because when I connect the dots together, trying to make, you know, my own kind of, you know, hypothesis about where the market's going to go, I'm trying to look back in the past and say, what happened? When we crashed in the past, what happened? What was the correlation? Okay, inflation was high, but what else, you know, was like going on? Well, oil. And it's the same thing now with Russia affecting the oil price, as you know, going up. And now they started to go back down. But we got to keep an eye on what Russia is going to do, the war. So I don't think the war is the factor. I think the oil is the factor. So I'm not making a prediction. All I'm saying, right, is that 1973, 1974, a 2 year from the top, it took 2 years to get to the bottom. Now in 1980, it didn't take as long. I have the data right here. I don't remember the fact, but I could show you the data, right? In 1980 wasn't as bad. So I guess it all depends on how fast they're going to resolve it. But it says 1980s was only 48 days. So, right, we're past that by now. We're already over 90 days, right? So we're not done yet. So I hope if you want the market to go up, I would say what needs to happen is that we need to get rid of the oil crisis. That will help a lot. And if sanctions are being kept on like Russia, I think, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't like figure that out 100%, but I would say like the oil factor is a big, major thing to pay attention to. Like that's right. If you want to predict the market, right?
And maybe an even easier prediction is when the price of filling up your car with gas goes down. And that's a good sign. We're going in a good direction.
Yeah, I'm the worst for that. I don't pay attention too much. But
yeah, well, people in America do right now.
Yeah, I heard. It's been like crazy high there, right?
Yeah, so, depending what state you're in, for sure. I think California.
I'm in Thailand, so
a gallon.
It's not really, I haven't like noticed. I never checked the price ever. So
yeah. Well, you
I check the price for everything else except that.
You do that. When you're a successful trader, you can just fill up. You don't look at the price. So and that's what we're trying to help you be. We're trying to help you not pay attention to price because it doesn't matter to you because you're making so much money. So,
but it's a good point, right? If the price of the gas still starts to go down, then there's a good chance the market will recover faster. We're not going to be in a 2-year bear market, right? Like that's long. Yeah. And 2 years screws up everybody, no matter how. Only the rich people. The reason I said that the charts move along with the rate, like it could keep going up a bit, is because when the interest rate is high enough, billionaires and rich people are going to take their money and start buying short-term bonds. If the interest is good enough, you see what I'm saying? So they're not going to leave their money in the market. And when they take their money out of the market, out of those financial assets, then that will bring the markets down because they took their money out and put in bonds and things like that. But they're not going to do that until they get a good interest rate. So as they raise the interest rate, this will cause that to happen because rich people don't want to risk their money in uncertain times like we have right now. So right now, if you have a lot of money, your number one priority is to protect the money you have. It's not to try to maximize your gains. Everybody's trying to protect what they have, not just against inflation, but against buying an asset that's going to go down in value. So that's what I think. Yeah,
that's right. So manage your risk, manage your emotions, and trade from a beautiful state.
And I should mention one more thing, though, that we are having an ICO. So I want to just very quickly mention it because I started mentioning that to the group, and I'm so stoked about this ICO. because our next ICO is gonna beat Metagold. Okay, I think so. I think it's gonna, but Metagold is special because we give you the trades and all that. So I want you to consider the next ICO. I will tell you what a little bit of a tip. You'll be able to turn, and I can't promise that, but $1,000 into $1 million. We are giving people a formula on our next crypto that will help people turn that $1,000 into $1 million within 1 year. Okay. And so if you're interested and if you buy $10,000 of like Metagold, you'll be an early investors in our future crypto launch and ICO, and even potentially become a crypto partner with us. But definitely you'll be the first one to buy into this, which means you make even more like money. So I thought I would mention that because we are about to launch a crypto before the end of the month, hopefully. We cannot promise that, but I'm so pumped. Are you pumped about our launch, James?
Yeah, for sure. So exciting. Working so hard on that, getting everyone together. So stay tuned.
You guys are crazy if you don't like get in beyond this like next project. I will just say that. I mean, I just think you guys are crazy. This is a huge opportunity for you guys. I would say James is quite smart, and he's the leader of the next like project. And make sure, become a member, go below.
Of course, we put this at the very last moment of the video. So only those committed enough to actually watch the entire video are hearing this. So good for you if you're hearing this.
That's right.
That's your gift.
But we'll keep bringing it up as we make progress, because we are coming, on video every day. So, I started mentioning it to some of our members, like 1K like members. We have members who are in this group, and they were quite stoked to hear about it as well, because I told them the ICO is like coming. And so they're like, okay, well, I'm going to buy the tier 3, right? So that's cool. But, I'm not trying to be, what's the right word? Promptuous or some word like that. It means, I'm not trying to say. Can you say that again? How do you say that?
Presumptuous.
Presumptuous. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not trying to be presumptuous. Everybody's free to choose and trade and do what they want as a trader. I respect that. What I'm trying to say, though, is very hard for a lot of people to get into an ICO. And the reason it's hard is because people who come in first can buy the lowest price. But you will love this next crypto. That's all I have to say. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to like reveal anything, because this is going to be great. So
for sure. Yeah. It's exciting.
All right.
Okay.
Presumptuous.
That's it from the crypto guys. Presumptuous.
Awesome.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye for now.